Hi everyone, it's Mari for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be using the beautiful cap and gown stamp and coordinating honey cut today to create my card. I'm also going to be using the layering balloons stencil set. These are all brand new products to the Honeybee collection that were part of the Let's Celebrate release this week. This beautiful stamp set here you can see has these two awesome images at the bottom, as well as a whole bunch of sentiments to the graduate. The tassel was worth the hassle. Congrats, grad, so proud of you and you did it. I'm going to stamp out some of these images here with the brand new Honeybee Intense Black ink. This is really wonderful ink for all kinds of different stamping purposes. Today I'm going to use it for some Copic coloring. I'm going to stamp this image out on some Neenah Solar White Classic Crest cardstock and set it aside. And now I'm going to do some ink blending using those stencils. Now I'm stenciling this onto a Slimline cut piece of cardstock. That cardstock was cut using the Slimline Sentiment Eyelet die from Honeybee Stamps. And I'm going to blend onto that white cardstock with some of my ink from my stash. This is some pink fresh ink. I will list to the colors that I use below in the description box. But I'm blending that on with that layering stencil. The balloon stencils are so fun, and I just loved blending with these stencils to create this balloon background. Now, what I was kind of going for here is creating a color scheme that could be the school colors of the person graduating, so that's something to keep in mind. I also just really like these colors, but if the school that the person is graduating from has a blue team colors or whatever, you could definitely think about that when you're using these stencils for a grad card. So what you see me doing here is I had used the stencil on the top portion of my Slimline base and moved it now down to the bottom portion. I've taped off some of the areas that I don't want to go over top of again with my ink, and I end up with this really fun balloon image on my Slimline shape. Now I'm going in with that darker color and the second stencil that's part of this layering set, and this is going to stencil on a different size of balloon. These ones are smaller, and you'll just see here that I'm going over with this darker ink, and it's just going to create this really fun layered effect of these darker and lighter balloons. It looks like they're just floating up into the sky as the graduate is at the bottom of the card, and then you'll see that there's also going to be a grad cap as part of the images that I color here as well. So I'm just going in clockwise and counterclockwise direction with my blending brush here, and just picking up some ink as I go to make sure that I have a nice smooth blend of my colors here. I'm just tapping off on a little bit of paper off to the side there to make sure that I don't end up with a super dark area that doesn't want to blend out really well. So just kind of blending my ink on and getting it so that I really like it. Now I've moved the stencil down to the bottom. Again, I have masked off some of the areas of the open spaces on the stencil that I don't want to go over because, there's going to be areas there at the top that are already finished. And so I'm just, making sure that I position my stencil so that I have the balloons exactly where I want them. And I'm just blending on clockwise, counterclockwise, getting the balloons all blended to where I want them. And this layering stencil is just so much fun. So what a gorgeous background. I love that. And so that if this was for a grad where the school colors are kind of like a really soft, nice red, this would be perfect. Now I'm going in with my Copic markers here to color my image. I am using the cool grays to color up the gown. And I'm going to speed this up super fast here because this is just really, really basic. I'm going over the entire gown with the lightest color of gray here. And then I will go in with the darker shades of gray and color in where you can see the folds in the gown. I think I'm going to use 2 or 3 different shades of gray here to create the different little folds and shaded areas on this gown. So you can just see here I'm using the lines that are on the image to help me decide where the darker or the shadows need to be. So super easy way to color using those lines that are on the image to help you figure out where to go ahead and put your shading lines. I'm also going to use an even darker marker here, and I believe you can see the caps there on the screen, and I'm just darkening up my different shadow area there. I will blend that out with the medium color once I have all of those different shadows in place. And I love this image. It's so easy to color because of all of the line work that is on that image. So I love that. That just really, really makes coloring a stamp like this, really super easy. So just going over with the medium color, like I said, blending that all out. Once I'm done, I will just take a look at it and see if I need to darken anything up. And my image will be, the gown of my image will be all colored. So I'm just going to finish that up here, and loving how that is looking. Now I'm going to go on to the skin of the arm there, and you can just see I'm just using a lighter color to begin with, and then going in and shading it out with a second color, a medium color, going back in, blending that out with a lighter color, and I will go back in with the medium color here and add a little bit more of that shadow. Now I'm using just some really nice soft browns to do the hair. This is almost like a caramel color for the hair. I'm using the lightest color to go over all of the hair. Then I will go over some of the, again, on the lines, using the lines to help me with the shading and the shadows, and using that next color there to do some shading using those lines. And I just love this, the artwork here. This young person just has the most beautiful waves, and love that hair. So I'm just going in using that shadow, and now I'm working away again with the lightest color to blend that out, and just going to deepen up the shadows a little bit here to create that depth in the hair. I love how it looks when it's all finished. So now I just have that cap to color. So this was super, super simple and easy to color up these different images here that I'm using. Didn't take me long at all. And just going in with a darker gray now here to color the cap. And you can just see me here going over the entire area with that one color. Now going in with the darkest shade of gray here to add my shadow. And I will just blend back and forth with those two shades here to finish up that cap. Now each one of these different images and the sentiment all have a coordinating die as part of the cap and gown set, which I absolutely love. I love that the sentiments include those coordinating dies. It does make it super, super easy to cut out and add that as an element onto your card. So these are all of the coordinating dies here. I'm just going to take my purple tape and get those stuck down to the paper. And once I have that all ready to go, I will take that over to my die cutting machine and die cut those out. So I just wanted to take just an extra little second here to make sure that I have those lined up properly and get those all trimmed out. And this is just going to create a really fun effect with the grad at the bottom of the slimline, tossing up the cap into the air. And just a really traditional type of image for graduation. And with grad coming up, or all of the grads coming up, whatever that might look like this year, which is definitely a different year for sure, there will definitely be some cards required for those celebrations. Now this is the frame that's part of the Slimline Sentiments Eyelet die set. I'm going to just add some of the honeybee liquid adhesive to that frame and get that stuck down to my card base. So this is a Slimline card base. You can just see that I have that all ready to go here. I'm now going to take my panel with my ink blending, and I'm going to just put some adhesive again on the back of this panel. Again, this panel was cut when I trimmed out that eyelet die. So when you trim out that eyelet die, you get the frame and you get this center cut, which is perfect. And so now you can just see that that fits perfectly into that nice crisp eyelet border. And now I'm just going to place some foam adhesive on the back of my die cut pieces here, and I will get those stuck down to my Slimline card. So I just wanted to add a little bit of dimension to the grad, to the card front here. I thought that would look interesting and just make it a little bit more dimensional in that way. So putting that down, and then I will also add some foam adhesive to the sentiment and the cap as well. And I just wanted to put that cap within range of where the grad's arm is extending there to make it look like that cap has just been tossed into the air. So you'll just see me here deciding what the right placement might be for that cap. And then of course the placement of that sentiment at the top. This set is perfect for really any size of card, but it is, great to use it as well for a slimline because you can extend the space between that extended arm and of course the cap. And yeah, there's a lot of really fun things you could do with this set for sure. Now I am taking some Wink of Stella. This is clear Wink of Stella. I'm adding a little bit of sparkle and shine to the hair of the grad, and I will also add that to the gown and the cap, and the card will be finished. I did link up to all of the products that I used in the description box below, so make sure that you check that out. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well to be notified of all of the future videos here on the channel, and make sure that you check out Honeybee Stamps and social media on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much, friends. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye.